I'm going to be joined by someone who absolutely needs no introduction. He is deemed as the market guru. He has been tracking the stock markets for over 3 decades and is one of the most wisest persons of Dalal Street. He has seen various market cycles, and it won't be wrong at all to say that he is one person who exactly knows what will make money in equities. I am joined by Mr. Ramdeo Agarwal, Chairman and co-founder of Motilal Oswal Financial Services, on this Money 9 exclusive. Welcome, sir. It's an honor to have you with us on Money 9, TV9 News Network's digital business platform. It's such an honor to have you with us and to discuss with you, to take insights from you for this new generation that has entered into the stock markets over the last 1.5 years.
So it's my pleasure to be with you and talk about the stock market, which is my passion. So I think it'll be fun. Please go ahead
Yes,
and
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I look forward, sir. And what a stupendous rally that we have seen. Markets are at record highs, the sentiments are buoyant. But I want to start off first by asking you, what do we say to the average guy on the street today? And who says that, okay, the stock markets are buoyant, but what is in it for me?
What is it for me? See, there are two types of people: those who participated and those who watch from outside. The guys who participated, they have fun. I mean, they really made a lot of money, and now it is. And one of the things is that stock market is not about next 6 months, next 1 year, 2 years, things like that. It's a permanent machine. Like it's a
Right.
way to invest your savings. So it's not about now. What do I do? What do I do if the market goes down by 20%? See, the things don't change. You have to be there. It's part of life. It's like your jobs. If you, in your job, some days are good, some days are bad, but jobs are jobs. You have to go 365 days. So that's how the market is. You have to take market as part of your life. So that speculative element, that yes, I can be, when the markets are bad or markets are down, I'll buy, and markets are up, I'll sell. No, I don't think it works like that. You'll never make a lot of money. If you want to make seriously a lot of money without stress, that is another thing. Effortlessly, if you want to make money, you have to be in the market 365 days, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. As long as you are alive, you have to be there in the market.
Absolutely, sir. That's a wonderful take to begin with. And I wanted to ask you for this bull rally of sorts that we've seen, 17 months odd and no correction of sorts at all, not even 5% correction. In your entire lifetime, when you've seen various ups and down cycles, is this the best bull market, or have you seen even better ones before?
Actually, it's very tough to. I mean, I've seen in 40 years three major bull markets. I mean, and nothing can match what happened between 90 and 92, because in those 19 20 months, market went up by 6 times, from 700 Sensex to about 4200. So that was most unprecedented, and you couldn't even sleep in the night. The excitement was so high. So that was the best. I think second best was, of course, this 2003 to 2007.
Mm,
But even this has that
mm,
flavor of, I mean, all the four, all the three bull runs, whether it is a tech bull run in 2000, Harsha Mehta bull run, or 2007-8 commodity bull run, even that. So everything, but I think the best was, of course, Harsha Mehta bull run. This
yeah.
seems to be in making. Still, it is not fully kind of a done. We are in the midst of it, and let's see how big it becomes.
Exactly, and that was what I was coming to, sir, to understand from you. Of course, in that huge parabola of markets that we've been seeing, where exactly are we currently, and what lies ahead of us? Does this rally still have more legs to go?
I mean, I'm an optimist, so I would say there is a lot to happen. I mean, but the pace at which it has happened in last 12, 14 months, that may
Hmm.
not repeat.
Hmm.
That may not repeat. So the expectation set by doubling the market in just 12 months after that March, April, COVID, what you call crash. After that, market from that bottom, from 7,500, it is
Yeah.
literally more than double. So this
Hmm.
happens only once. This can happen only after crash. Once the see what has happened is that 12,000 has gone to 7,000. You are
Yeah.
not counting from 12,000. You are counting from 7,000, which is actually wrong mathematics to do. But still, from 7,500 you've gone double. But from 12,500 you've just gone 30-40% up. So it's a
Hmm.
I don't see as anything huge abnormality, but there's a lot of excitement on the street, and every time story is different. This time also the story is very different, and
Yes.
we'll scale up. I mean, maybe we'll stop here for some time, or maybe we'll correct. I mean, 10, 15, 20% it may correct. We may be here for some time, but I think journey is much bigger. I have seen, Sakshi, I can tell you, when I came in the stock market in 1980, first time, the Sensex was 100.
Yes.
100. Today it is 58,000. I have seen 580 times happening in the market myself. I mean, what can you say to? I mean, I have lived it every day.
Yes.
So it's not some my grandfather or somebody has told me the story. So
Yes.
I have seen this. So I don't see any reason why the future will be any different. If anything, it looks more exciting.
Absolutely, sir. And you've had a remarkable investment journey in stock markets. And for millennial investors who've joined the bandwagon in the last, say, 1.5 years, for them, there is so much to learn from you. For those investors watching you on this show today, could you help
Yeah.
our viewers understand what has been the biggest secret behind your success and the massive wealth creation that you've been able to achieve? So that, as and when they enter the market now, over the next 3 or 4 decades, they can learn from you and they can also replicate at least some of it what they can from your journey.
Yeah. So I think simple things. First thing is understand what equity means. Why you make money.
Hmm.
What is the deal that you make money in equity markets more than anywhere else.
Hmm.
And it's not so much about the rocket science. It's about understanding the power of equity. Equity is like, see, who is the richest guy? Who are the richest guys today? Zeb Bezos, Bill Gates. So
Yes.
they are the guys, they own their equities.
Hmm.
Fortunately, they own 50, 60, 70% of their own company, what
Yes.
they formed 30, 40, 50 years back. And that's how they are almost like they've created the companies of $1 trillion, $2 trillion, and they own say 10, 15, 20% of that company. And that's how they
Correct.
have 100, $200 billion with themselves. So basically, when you own any, and good thing is that I can also own Microsoft. I could have owned Microsoft from 75, 77, whenever they came in public, maybe in
Hmm.
early 80s. I could have owned Google from whenever they came in public. The issue is that the real issue is whether you understand a business and how long you want to own it. And as you own it for longer and longer period, the success of the business really makes you rich. And that's how it has been happening. And probably I understood the concept of equities very early in my life because I was doing chartered accountancy. I could understand how equities are exponential in character.
Hmm.
The full benefit of a success of enterprise goes to equity, and and because of power of compounding, as the economy is growing, your company also grows. And
Hmm.
as the in compounding 10, 20, 30 years at the rate of 25%, in 10 years you go 10x. Okay,
Yeah.
but that is not important. What happens in 20 years? In 20 years it goes to 100x, and in 30
Correct.
years it goes to 1000x. So if you get lucky in one or two companies which are good for next 25, 30 years, you are done. Even with a simple investment of 10, 15 lakhs.
Wow.
And yeah, you can be very rich at the end of 25, 30 years. So understanding few things, the power of equity, power of compounding, and power of buy and hold. I mean, you cannot make money if you're not there 24 by 7, 24 by 365 days.
Yes.
You cannot break it. Compounding breaks the moment your holding period is gone. The moment you try to see that you will sell and then buy back, I don't think it works. So these are the few things which has to be understood. Equity is the longest term asset.
Hmm.
People use it for the shortest period.
Hmm.
That's a basic construct. That is a basic gap. So the moment you are not long term, you become kind of a speculator.
Hmm.
And the moment you are a speculator, all the what do you call theorems of investing and long-term compounding, they just don't work. So people mix up speculation with the investing for the short term, investing for the long term. I mean, those things have to be understood. They're very simple. I'm not. It's not a very complicated stuff. Buy right, sit tight. That's why our slogan is buy right, sit
Hmm.
tight. if you and another unfortunate thing is that in stock market everything is not equal. So
Hmm.
what happens is that if there are five companies, there are five outcomes going to be, and one or two of them will actually become zero, and one
Yeah.
or two of them will become so much bigger that you cannot even imagine. So
Right.
nobody knows. I mean, very little, very difficult to understand which one will go 1000x and which will become zero. But good thing is, uh, the company where you lose, you can lose 1x only, but the
Hmm.
company which goes up, it can be 1,000 times. It's a very asymmetric deal. Are you understanding what I'm saying? See,
And
if
it's
you have,
more positive than negative.
yeah, so if you have, say, 200 rupees, 100 rupees you put in one company, company A, and 100 rupees you put in company B. So
Okay.
company A becomes zero. It's a flop. It goes zero. Okay, you lost your 100 rupees. Company B, you are lucky, and company B, there is no limit on the upside. It goes 100x, 1000x. Like Infosys is up 7000x. HDFC Bank is up maybe 500x and it's still counting. So people are obsessed about their losses and they get scared. But it is part of the game. Everybody makes losses. That they must understand.
Have
And
you made
nobody can predict
losses?
them.
I'm sure
Pardon?
people would want to. Have you made losses? People would want to
Yes.
know.
Array, we have made a lot of losses. And if you make the losses in early stage, then that is called tuition fees. So yeah, so your tuition fees will be small. But if you make losses as you become matured, if you want, now I run thousands of crores. When I commit mistake, my losses are running into 50 crores, 100 crores. So
Hmm.
not to make loss, we become little fearful.
Yeah. Yes.
And the moment you become fearful, your potential return goes down.
Hmm.
Then you are not buying anything and everything. So there is always a quid pro quo of risk and reward. So you have to manage your risk and the reward. I mean, reward is going to be disproportionate as you become intelligent, but the risk, see, people are driven, people give too much thought to the risk of the coming to the stock market, and they don't see what is the reward of coming to the stock market. And in
Hmm.
my sense, if you are an investor, the reward is multiple times bigger than the risk underlying. There is a risk, but the risk is much smaller than the reward.
I wanted to actually ask you if we are going to get a higher compounded annual growth rate, more than 15%, because I remember you earlier in this year saying that you expect the Sensex to touch about 2 lakh mark by 2030. And by CAGR calculation, it's 15% from the current levels. But looking at the past 8 odd months, like, 50K to 59K on the Sensex already. And we are looking at, pace of vaccination, economy recovering, earnings getting better, macro factors contributing. Do you think that there is a chance that we could also see a higher compounded rate? And do you think these targets could also be revised upwards?
You don't need this. 15 is a lot. You'll be blessed, I can tell you this. You can't count your money. It is so big. 15 is very large. See, 15 is the market return. That doesn't mean that anybody is stopping you. That's not a ceiling. You can make
Hmm.
30. I'm quite sure when I was young and small and kind of fearless, I must have made about 28, 29%. But
Wow.
now in a larger base, we will make maybe 15 plus minus 2 3%. So clearly, for the early movers, the guys who are coming with few lakhs, few thousands, they will definitely make much more than 15%. If the market gives 15%, I think they'll make more like 20%, 25%.
Okay. And I remember reading your quote somewhere which says, sell your diamonds, but not your stocks. But I want to ask you that what should investors who are sitting on handsome profits over the last 1 year, say some have made 100%, some have made even 500% in some cases in small caps or mid caps, what should they do? And how do you ensure that your need for return is not turning into greed? You know what is the right time to exit and book your profits
They don't need your advice and my advice. They're smart guys.
out.
I mean, in stock market, success is the most difficult thing in the sense that once you get success, in the sense that your a crore has become 5 crores or 10 crores or 20 crores, then then the maximum correction can be 30, 40%. So you're sitting on a lot of money and in the process, you learned it. So I don't think the successful people, they need too much of advice. I think the
Hmm.
people who are sitting completely outside of it, outside of
Hmm.
the stock market system, they
Hmm.
need they need hand holding and some kind of cajoling. I know how do you see in a stock market? What do you need? Three things: vision, courage, and patience. So people have. Our job is to show the garden path of what has happened in last 30, 40 years with our experience and what can happen in next 30, 40 years. So that's the job. Some people get it, some people don't get it. Second, then courage. Having understood, do you have courage to really buy? I can't do anything about it. If you understood things and still don't execute, it's a mistake of omission or whatever. So you have to do that, courage. Then third thing is the patience. Do you remain invested in the market? Good time, bad time. Patience is required not in good time. Good time, everybody remains invested. It is the patience in the bad time.
Yeah.
Because markets will go up and then by very nature it will come down. When it comes down, don't call up anybody. Just have a drink and go to sleep. So that so,
That's so cool. I'm sure all the millennial investors are loving this interview.
so you have to have a lot of patience. So long as it's a track which will be not straight, it will be going up and going down. You should be ready for that roller coaster ride, but
Huh.
don't leave the ride. Otherwise, the fun of that roller coaster itself is the fun. So that fun is in the ride. Fun is not in the up or down.
Hmm. Absolutely. Now, sir, for you, for someone who's been a true blue value investor, you've advocated always, like, buy good companies, run by good management, available at a good price. But we are in the age of disruption. How are you analyzing these new age digital disruptors like Zomato? Soon we are going to see Paytm, Policy Bazaar. Many of them are at steep valuations. And despite making losses, are they worth investing for the long period from, say, you've been saying 10, 20 years, 30 years from now? At this nascent stage, should one look at investing in these?
Yeah, yeah. See, whenever you go to Haridwar in Ganges, it is always cold.
Yeah.
So it is going to be tough in the sense that, but you have to take the dip. You have gone there. You want to make that 12-15% component on your savings for many years to come. So that is not possible if you stay out. It's that simple. And there is no right day or wrong day. Every day is the right day. Even if the markets are high, you have to start your journey. You have to pay your tuition fee. And even if the market goes down by 30-40% when you buy, say initially you buy a lakh rupees today, and market goes down, okay, fine. At lower end again I'll buy. But I have bought it for 5 years or 10 years. Let me stay on. So that is very important. Nobody can guarantee you that you will not make loss.
Sure.
And that being, see, the whole mindset is I should not make loss, somebody else should make the loss. ये हो नहीं सकता, ऐसे नहीं होता यार.
Yeah. Okay. And going forward from here, is there any particular segments that you are bullish on for the long term, which will be the biggest wealth creators? Of course, during COVID, we've seen the IT sector perform over the last 1 decade. We've seen several, sectors really take the first step or the front row. Banks, talk about autos, talk about all of these sectors. But going forward from here, is it better to stick with the old dinosaurs of the industry? Is it good to stay with the disruptors? What will make money?
Yeah, so what happens is that, of course, the bulk of the companies remain same, but next, every year actually, few new companies keep coming. And of course, so in next, say, after say 10 years, about 25 to 30% of the value of the market will be new companies. So you don't have to stick to old only, but large portion of your portfolio will be coming from the old companies. And even in the old companies, all of them are not 100 years old or 20 years old. There are companies which are 5-year old, there are companies which are 10-year old, the companies which are 20 years old, and there are change of the management in the old companies. So the old companies are looking like new companies. So you have to build your portfolio looking at everything. Just because a company is new, it is not great, and just because it is old, it is not slow and outdated. No. So in investing, you can have a good mix of as much old, as much new, but it all depends on your understanding of where is the value price gap. Price is what you pay. Listen to this. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. And price and value are not two same thing. And knowing the price has no advantage. Everybody on this earth knows the price. by the nanoseconds, people know the price.
Yes.
Very few know the value. Okay, so the smartness is in trying to understand underlying value of the company. And then the moment you understand some understanding estimated, you think that this company could be worth 1,000 crores or 2,000 crores, but the
Hmm.
price is only 500 crores. Let me buy some. Like that, you start learning then slowly.
Okay. If I were to ask you if there are any red flags, big risks that you see to the market journey that we've seen so far, of course, everybody has been saying there's been the correction is long overdue. It may come 5%, 10%. We don't know when. But what are the risk factors that could lead to a correction, if at all, after this journey?
I don't know about the markets. I cannot
Hmm.
I cannot figure out whether market will close today positive or negative. We can't
Hmm.
figure out, and
Okay.
hence I don't for my investing purpose where the market is headed tomorrow day after. Of course, I want the markets to be higher in
Hmm.
next 5 years time or 10 years time. Yes, without that we also don't make too much of money. But
Hmm.
so that's the market part of it. So I don't bother about on a day-to-day basis how the markets are going to do. And actually, it is not knowable. I firmly believe that nobody can figure out where the market is headed in short term, and hence why bother about it.
Okay.
So I don't time the market. If I get dividend of 10 crores today, I will invest it today only. But if see the time to buy in the market is when you have the money. Time to sell your investment is when you need the money. I mean, I'm talking about entry and exit of the market. You must enter the market when you have the money. You exit the market when you need the money. Otherwise, you can keep selling, buying stocks here and there. But broadly, that's what has been practiced by me. I have not
Yeah.
timed the market, so it has given me not only a lot of peace of mind, but also very comfortable compounding of my wealth over a period of time.
Yes, absolutely. And I remember that I heard you on Clubhouse and I wrote an article based on what I had listened to. And a very interesting thing that you had said is not, even if the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh Trinity were to come together, not even then one can time the market. So that was something very, very interesting. Let's now move on to the rapid fire questions and then we'll wrap up this edition. Wonderful so far, all the exciting things, but more excitement right up. So my first question in the rapid fire round is, which was the first stock that you had purchased?
Same India,
Okay. The first stock where you had made biggest money
biggest
or
no,
big money.
yeah, fastest is important. Where I made 100x first, that was
Yeah.
Vaishya Bank. Vaishya Bank way back
Oh,
in 91, 92, 100x.
okay. How much stipend did you get when you started your job?
My job when after become child accountant, I got 3,000 rupees a month, way back in 85 to 87.
Okay. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned you want to pass on to the millennial investors today?
Yeah, there are so many of them, but since it is a stock market related thing, don't bother about predicting the markets. Don't speculate. First thing is don't speculate. Become investor. And there is a fundamental difference between being investor and being a speculator. So today we are trading about 60, 70 lakh crores per day, but 97, 98% is all about speculation. And there, listening to me is useless.
Any big regret that you have had in stock market investments?
It's not about the result. It's about just the journey. Every moment I enjoy. Every moment, even giving interview, meeting the companies, seeing even the crash.
Yeah.
Even that is the fun.
Okay. What do you value the most in your life?
See, there are only three things: integrity, passion, and competence. So,
Hmm.
of the three, I would say the most valuable is integrity.
Okay. And what is money for you?
Ah, money for me, I mean, the meaning has changed. I mean, when I was young, of course, I was trying to establish my family myself. So, meaning was very different. Today, I mean, to me, money is like what I can do for the world. I mean, the world has been so nice to me. What nice thing I can do for them, which will
Hmm.
make a meaningful change. So, that it is completely changed. I'm economically free. At some point of time, I was completely economically, dependent on
Hmm.
somebody.
Hmm.
Today, so my thinking is very different about money.
Okay. A stock or any stocks that you're holding on to since the last 35 years.
Motilal Oswal itself,
Okay, wonderful. One stock that you would like to pass on to your children as inheritance.
Motilal Oswal.
Okay, and one tip from Warren Buffett that you follow even today.
I learned everything from him. Everything from him, whether it is how to look. See, I think two things I learned, which I think, yeah, two things. One is there are two types of businesses: good business, bad business. And a lot of entrepreneurs themselves don't know what is a good business and what is a bad business. So you must understand that you are looking at a good business. Only good businesses compound. Second
Hmm.
is good management, bad management. So, of two by two, if you have a good business and good management, you are literally 99.999% you are going to make money. And if you
Hmm.
buy cheap, then you make tons of money. That's the
Okay.
thing I've learned from Buffett.
And last question on the rapid fire round. What is the target of Sensex that you want to see in your lifetime?
I see. I mean, I don't know how long I'll live, but
A
what I've
thousand
seen.
years, sir. I wish.
Yeah. So in last 40 years, what I've seen is 15% compounded. I don't see this breaking down right now. I mean, of course, there'll be a stage on that base to compound will be tough, but I don't see that in foreseeable future. I think we still have 20, 30 years, at least 20, 30 years of rapid expansion for Indian economy, because Indian economy is really a kid. $2,000 per capita. It's a really, I mean, and we have a lot of brains in the sense that we are not the country who should be $2,000 per capita. We should be more like $20,000 minimum. So I mean, there is a lot of potential, and it will be a very good journey. It will be a fantastic journey for the economy, for the country, and for the, of course, the stock market.
And with that, we wrap up this exclusive interaction with Mr. Ramdeo Agarwal. A whole lot of discussion about his life, his passion, the way he has invested in stock markets, and the biggest lessons that he's learned from the legendary investor Warren Buffett. Do catch all the insights and clips about it throughout our website, social media platforms, and you can also subscribe to our channel to listen to him and all his snippets that we will put out on our YouTube channel as well. Thanks a lot for joining in.